Right, welcome to our July Reiki call. Glad to have you all here where we talk about Reiki, answer your questions. Going to begin with an opening grounding prayer. So if you have Reiki, activate your Reiki. If you're new to Reiki, then just intend to call on love energy. And take a deep breath. And intend to inhale energy from the earth up through the bottoms of your feet, all the way up to your crown. And exhale the energy down. And inhale it again up to your crown. And back down deep into the earth. And inhale up. And exhale down. And then inhale up to your belly. And exhale. Father, Mother, God, sweet Holy Spirit, we are grateful to come together as a group to share learning more about Reiki, to create Reiki community, to give and receive Reiki. We affirm that we are clear and open channels for only the highest and holiest Reiki energy, setting our personalities and egos aside. And we affirm that everyone is receiving a deep healing. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay. Well, I have some questions that people have sent in. But first, I want to check and see what questions you all have, or if you're new to Reiki and would like to know a little bit more about what Reiki is. I always address people on the call first.
Hi.
Hi.
It's my first call, as I said before, but I've been out of practice for a little bit, but I've been kind of working on it, and I intend on taking your class in October.
Wonderful.
The Reiki 3 and Master. So funny, I'm going to be calling you tomorrow to talk to you about it. But I'm kind of a little bit still hesitant on distance, a little bit, and I don't know if that's just me not knowing a little bit more of the being comfortable with myself in doing it, or what. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I feel like I need like a little quick crash course, I guess, in it. Or maybe, I know the proxy and, the symbols for it and all that. So I don't know if it's just me getting in my head about it, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure. All right. So you had the Reiki 2 training and learned how to do the distance Reiki.
Yes.
All right. So there's several different ways to do it. If you have a proxy, and I was looking around to see if I have one here in my office. No, I don't. I have one in my bedroom. Anyway, you can also use a pillow or whatever you have, and draw your symbols on your hands or over the pillow or the proxy. And then, say your opening prayer if you want. And then you would just simply intend to activate the Reiki energy. And the simplest way to do it is say, as I give Reiki to this, doll, pillow, stuffed animal, I am giving Reiki to whomever, and name the name. Now you're intending to send Reiki to whomever. I like to say that person's name 3 times. So say if I'm going to send Reiki to my daughter, Elena, I would just say, Elena, Elena, Elena. And, as I give Reiki to this doll, I'm giving Reiki to Elena. And then give Reiki to the head. You can give Reiki to the shoulders, the feet, the stomach, you know, whatever. That's the simplest method of doing it. I also teach
Okay.
about, I
Mhm.
also teach about calling an energetic copy of the person into the doll. So I could just, with my intention, intend to bring an energetic copy of my daughter into the doll, and then I can go ahead and use my hand over the doll and scan the energy in it and see where she needs the Reiki energy.
Okay, then I guess it's just me being in my head. All right.
Oh, okay. You thought maybe you were missing something?
I thought I was missing a step, but I'm not. So
Okay.
thank you for the affirmation.
Right. Now, in the folder I gave you, you have a handout called the Teddy Bear Technique that gives you step-by-step instructions.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And you mentioned taking my class, my Reiki Master class in October.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Where is that?
At your house.
Oh, okay. You're coming all the way to Kansas City?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yay. That's exciting.
Yeah. I love Kansas City, and I was like, this is perfect.
Okay. All right. Great.
It gives me some time to work on some stuff and get focused and talk to you a little bit more and be ready 120% for it.
Okay. Great. Kansas City in October is wonderful. One of the best.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. So yeah, distance Reiki isn't hard. It's just a matter of trying it out. You know, it can be as simple as you activate the Reiki symbols in your hands, put your hands together, and I'm intending to send Reiki to my daughter, Elena. You know, she's texting me while I'm in this meeting saying, can you talk? You know, it's like, no, I can't talk. Are you in your meeting? No, I can't talk. In meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'll send her some Reiki. So, the name of the distance symbol, I won't say it because it's secret, but, the power symbol, the mental emotional symbol, the distance symbol, put my hands together and intend to send Reiki to my daughter, who is obviously wanting my attention. They told her I'd be in meeting until 9 o'clock, and she's texting me anyway. All right. Okay. So that's easy. So what about the rest of you that send distance Reiki? How do you do it? And welcome, Chris. You're on mute.
How are you?
Hi, good. Hey, would you like to share how you do distance Reiki?
Well, there's a couple of ways. What I do is I use my crystal grid, and so I'll power up my crystal grid, and then I have a little container right next to my crystal grid that I will write down the person's name and intend to send Reiki to them. And then I also will do, if I'm driving, I might visualize the person if I know the person. If it's somebody that it's not like a random thing from a friend where I can visualize their person in the steering wheel and put the distance symbol in the steering wheel and then give Reiki to the steering wheel as I'm driving. That's one way.
That's a good way.
Yeah.
Love the crystal grid. And Jordan, you'll learn how to do that in advanced Reiki training. I charge mine up every day.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else want to share how you do distance Reiki?
I do it, but I learned it from you how to do it. So I use the same method that you taught with the teddy bear. Mm-hmm. And doing the symbols. I put the symbols on all my chakra centers and on my hands and in the room, and get the room charged and cleared and cleaned. And then I do the same thing for my teddy bear. I make sure it's cleaned of any energies that I picked up from maybe doing Reiki on a previous person. So I always cleanse the bear and then do the symbols on the bear and call out the name 3 times and evoke Reiki and send it.
Okay. How do you cleanse your bear?
Well, I have more than one energy healing modality that I use, but I cleanse it by using a universal sphere, which is another energy healing modality. And Istara is the spirit that kind of oversees the universal sphere, but it's basically taking in, it's a microcosm of a macrocosm. So you just hold your hands in front of your heart and ask for the universal sphere. And then I feel the energy in my hands and my arms. And I just ask for a cleansing universal sphere to remove all energies from the bear and cleanse it back to purity. And then once I feel the universal sphere energy is ready, I release it over the bear.
Okay, cool. Well, you could do that with Reiki just by activating the power symbol and intending to cleanse any energy out of the bear that is not for the highest good.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, we'll do that with Reiki. All right, thanks. Okay, anybody else want to share how you do distance Reiki? Okay, well, you can also hold a picture if you have a picture of someone, or you can just write their name down on a piece of paper and hold the paper between your hands and send Reiki, or you can visualize a little small version of them in your hands and send Reiki that way. Okay. Hey, any other questions that you all have?
Hey, Karen. I have one other suggestion that I do at home sometimes with distance Reiki. I'll pull them up on Facebook and give my phone Reiki.
Okay,
So
that's a good one. Yeah.
That's another idea.
Yeah, look at some pictures of the person and send it. Okay, cool. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like having the discussion. All right, well, hey, anybody else have any questions? All right, well, the next category that I think is always interesting before I go to my list of questions is if there's anything interesting that you would like to share about what you've used Reiki for. Like, Chris, I don't know, have you given Reiki to any dogs?
I did.
Well, I give Reiki to my dogs all the time. It's been a little while, but I had a client contact me through a friend that wanted me to do specifically Reiki for her dog. That it was a large dog that lived in a family of 3 or 4 other large dogs. And what happened was essentially the dog saw somebody that she knew on the other side of a window, and she tried to go see that person and broke through the window. She cut her forearm and gave herself a nice little laceration. Anyhow, so I went over to this person's house and I said, I give Reiki to my dogs. I actually work in an animal clinic where, in passing, quickly when I'm working with them we do regular rehab with the dogs. In passing, when I have my hands on the dog, I do a little bit of Reiki, but not a formal treatment. So this was actually a formal treatment or a formal session. And it was a lot of fun. The dog almost immediately fell asleep. And she stayed that way probably for about 10, 15 minutes. And normally, apparently, she was a pretty high-strung dog. So it was a lot of fun, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome, Elena Crane. Glad to have you here. All right.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Yes. So we have 2 people with similar names. So Elaine you said you'd given Reiki to a dog.
Yeah, my niece had a dog that when she would leave it home, and they have a pack of dogs that there's like 4 of them in the house, and then they have another dog outside. So they have a pack of dogs at their house. But this dog is a bulldog. And when she would leave, the dog would like tear into the electrical sockets, tear into the wall, chew the beds. I mean, it really went spastic with abandonment issues. And so I did, I used other healing modalities to be fair, but yesterday I just did a big Reiki treatment on it. The dog slept through the whole treatment, and hasn't had any more tearing up the house episodes since I've been doing the energy healing on it. But yesterday was a very big energy healing with Reiki. So we'll see how it does, but it seems to be responding to the energy healings.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Anybody else like to share what you've been doing with Reiki?
I've actually done it to my cat.
Yeah,
And that I'm actually quite happy. She was a dumpster cat, as I like to kind of call it, and she would just be a little kind of skittish and just kind of slow to warm up. And after that, things changed. It was wonderful.
Wow. She went from being skittish to a more friendly cat?
More friendly, yeah. The warming up process didn't take quite as long. It was nice.
Wow. That's great. Some cats
It was wonderful.
Reiki, and some cats are not so receptive because they give Reiki. You know, what you're trying to give Reiki. I give Reiki. I'm the cat. Well, I'll share one of my little Reiki miracles. I have been holding a Reiki share group that I call a Reiki circle at my Unity Church in Overland Park, Kansas since 2000. Well, my Unity Church is downsizing and moving, and they have not found a new home. So they're moving to temporary space. Well, that meant I had to find a new place for my Reiki circle. And I started sending Reiki into it and started listing all the ideas I could think of who I could contact, and requested Reiki from the other center licensed teachers. And the second place that I talked to said, well, it can probably work. I'll talk to you next week when I get back from vacation. So I talked to her, and I am moving my Reiki circle to Cleveland Chiropractic University that has a room complete with 8 massage tables for a very reasonable rental fee. I think all I'll have to take is a lamp so that we don't have to use fluorescent lighting, and a CD player. So we start that next
That's awesome.
day. Yes.
Yay.
I am excited about that. And I told her that we would offer free Reiki sessions for the chiropractic students. So I think that will be a really nice thing. And Cleveland Chiropractic College is off the same main street that the church is or was. It's only, maybe less than a mile away. So it's also, really close to the same location. So I am really super excited about that. Whenever you have a need for anything, just send Reiki to it to help it manifest for the highest good of all concerned. Okay, any other questions, or shall I go to the questions that people sent me? Okay, I'll go to the questions. All right, someone wrote me, I was wondering, for those of us that fly all the time, have you seen, and then she sent me a link and is saying, is it worth it? Do you have a better idea? I can't always get to ground to have bare feet. I have found that it's really bad sleep, when I'm not grounded. Would love your thoughts. Oh, I guess she was talking about the earthing idea. The Reiki way to ground, well, we did it at the beginning of this call. You just breathe earth energy up, and you can also intend to bring the power symbol up through your body. You can also give Reiki to your knees and feet. That's a really good way to ground, and just connect to the earth. Hey, one of my favorites, I'm a tree hugger. I love it. I have everything except for the t-shirt. I need that t-shirt. So go give Reiki to a tree. That's a perfect way to ground. You can give Reiki to your food or your water. That will also help you to ground, bringing you into the present moment, particularly if you're eating something like root vegetables, carrots, beets, meat, or, well, dark chocolate in moderation. That can help you ground. Give Reiki to that food before you eat it, and that will help. Okay. All right. I've practiced Reiki on my cat a few times, my son, and a distance session. I don't feel I get the same utopia on myself as I do others. I've heard that from a lot of people. So it's normal not to feel as much on yourself. That is very typical. If you continue to practice, you will develop your sensitivity to the Reiki, and your Reiki energy will get stronger with practice. So it's important not to give up. When I first got Reiki, I didn't feel it for the first year. It took a really long time. Now, granted, I only had Reiki 1 for the first year, and I only had a 2-hour class. It was not very thorough. I didn't get much instruction. But I was also pretty congested emotionally from being in an abusive relationship for 5 years that I had to numb out, in order to kind of keep my sanity. So if you just continue to give Reiki to yourself, it will help to clear a layer of stuff. Bye-bye. Another layer of stuff. Bye-bye. Another layer and another layer until your Reiki stream is running clear all the way through you. And as you get more clear and as you practice, it will be easier to feel the Reiki energy. So I'm just wondering if any of you have had that same experience where, it was harder or still is harder to feel Reiki when you give it to yourself than when you receive it from someone else.
I think I definitely feel that way, or at least over, as I've practiced more, I feel it better. But I mean, I've always felt like I feel the energy stronger when I'm receiving a session.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I feel for me it depends on the area that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I get a sinus headache, I can Reiki and it's fine. But like general, say, aches and pains, like joint achiness or something like that, or soreness, not so much, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, particularly if you're trying to give Reiki to your shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
how long can you really hold this position before you develop new aches and pains?
Yes.
Yeah. That's where giving Reiki to a proxy really helps. I sleep with a little Reiki doll in my bed, and I just hold the doll and say, as I give Reiki to this doll's shoulders, I give Reiki to my shoulders. And then I can hold it for a long period of time. And that's easy. So I have found that I often feel the Reiki energy as strong and sometimes even more strong when I give it to myself than when I receive it from someone else. So that's something that it has taken a long time to develop, but finally, that's which is pretty nice. It makes it more rewarding to give myself Reiki, but my normal Reiki practice is about 30 minutes of self-Reiki every morning. Okay, let's see. All right, I was listening to the recording on sending Reiki to manifest a job. Can you explain the process as to how to go about it? My daughter's been looking for a job for quite a long time and nothing has manifested. All right, well, to send Reiki for a job or anything that you want to manifest, write it down on a piece of paper, take out some paper, write down the kind of job that you want and some of the qualities of the job. Maybe the location where you want to work, the salary that you would like to earn, the kind of people that you'd like to work with, the kind of boss that you would like to work for, the hours you're going to work, and draw all the symbols that you know on the piece of paper. And then you might write this or something better, because Spirit might have something even better in mind than what you've put down. Then activate all the Reiki symbols that you know and hold your piece of paper in your hands. Give it Reiki every day for 15 minutes or longer. And then as you're giving Reiki, tune in and listen to any ideas that pop into your mind. Maybe you're inclined to go follow up with an old Facebook friend that you haven't talked to for a while, or maybe you're inclined to check in with somebody on LinkedIn or something that just happens to be, the right and perfect thing to do to make the connection for the job. Okay, what about Reiki for manifesting? Do any of you have any stories about how you've used Reiki to manifest something? Okay, all right. Back to the questions. All right, how do I learn to do Reiki? As a healthcare provider, how can I incorporate this into my practice for pain management? How do you become a Reiki master? All right, I was just looking at the answer that I wrote to her. Well, certainly Reiki is simple to learn. You just go to a Reiki class. You want to go to a quality Reiki class. It's important to find out what you're going to learn in the class, what the teacher's training and background is, what you'll be able to do when you leave, what manual you're going to use so that you have a quality manual and training. My original Reiki 1 and 2 class, I had no manual. It was a 2-hour training. I didn't learn much. And I thought, check, well, that was a nice experience. I'm probably not going to do much with that. Anyway, I had someone that persisted with keeping me on it. So anyway, over time, I did learn more. That learning how to give yourself a treatment, how to scan your body for blockages in your energy field, how to give someone else all the standard hand positions. That's really important in your Reiki 1 class, the history of Reiki, what it does, how can it heal, and receiving the empowerment for the Reiki energy, which we call a placement, in the lineage that I'm teaching, the Yusui Holy Fire lineage. And then in Reiki 2 class, learning more about the symbols for Reiki, the power symbol, the mental emotional symbol, and the symbol to send Reiki at a distance, including sending Reiki forward in time to help manifest good results or back in time to heal old traumas. And then practice, practice time. So those are the things that you can learn in a Reiki 1 and 2 class. Anybody can easily learn this material. I've taught the adult Reiki material to as young as 12 and as old as 87. Somebody younger than 12, probably a kid Reiki class would be more appropriate, where there's less formal learning and more experiential, fun learning. Okay, I've taught some kid Reiki classes and some other people do also. So as far as incorporating it into pain management, Reiki and pain management would be a really nice combo. I know Chris uses that in her wound healing. Do you want to say something about that, Chris, about how Reiki has helped people with their pain,
Sure.
wound care?
Sure. A lot of times what I would do is I would work with someone who has a chronic wound or something that's not healing. So what I would do is Reiki the machines that I'm using to promote their circulation. And then I also would Reiki around their actual wound themselves. And I use Reiki a lot in physical therapy with people that have joint pain or any kind of injury on a regular basis. Now, usually those are just spot treatments or spot sessions, really pretty fast, but it helps tremendously. I had a patient that had a joint contracture from just a whole lot of tightness from being bedfast, and they actually were able to relax to a point to get their legs straight. So, Reiki has been very, very helpful in helping to reduce the tightness, reduce their pain. I have another patient that had a stroke and her shoulder was affected, and so I did Reiki to her shoulder. Probably about maybe a 3-minute duration right on her shoulder, but she really got a lot of relief from that. So it's really, really helpful in healthcare.
Wow. So yes, let's say that you are a physical therapist so that people know what you do. I think Reiki is a perfect combo with physical therapy.
Right. And even, any kind, like with massage therapy, with the manual techniques we do in massage. And, certainly I have another patient that has a COPD or breathing disorder. And we actually do formal Reiki sessions every other week. And I check her oxygen levels a lot of times before and after her sessions, and her oxygen will improve, like how much oxygen she's getting to her bloodstream. So, I mean, it's wonderful with pain, but in just general, just getting people to relax, breathe deeper, or whatever is working, it helps. It helps with a lot of things.
Uh-huh. Well, that's amazing. You might consider contacting the Center for Reiki Research about designing, some surveys and things, and maybe that's something that you might be able to get published in a physical therapy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times what happens is I will start with a traditional patient, and then they find out I do Reiki, and then all of a sudden we're doing Reiki as well. Mm-hmm. So, and it's fun because in a traditional setting, we do those things like take their heart rate, take their blood pressure. We do that anyways. Mm-hmm. So we have those numbers right there, and it's easy to see.
Well, that could be some awesome research.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Ann Baldwin is one of the lead people in that group. Yes. And a student of one of my Reiki students.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, hey, it's time for the sending Reiki section. So let's activate all the Reiki symbols that you know in your hands, and we're going to intend to send Reiki to each other for the remainder of our time, and also to anyone that watches this video. You can activate your Reiki symbols any way that you know, draw them on your hands, say their names, visualize them in your hands, which is what I'm doing. Okay, so just allow the Reiki energy to flow to everyone on this call, to everyone that watches this video, so that they receive the right and perfect healing. Or the right and perfect manifestation if they have a goal. So let's begin to gently bring this to a close. Thank you, God, for this healing. We affirm it's continuing on the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional levels long after our time together today is through. And so it is. Wow, that was awesome. That felt powerful. And if you ever need a Reiki boost, you can just come back and listen to one of these Reiki calls. They are on my website at www.karenharrison.net. And I'm also planning to turn it into a podcast. It's also on my YouTube channel, which you can find at Karen Harrison Reiki, because I load it up there too. Now, if you want to have more fun Reiki experience, you can come to the Reiki retreat sponsored by the International Center for Reiki Training. Now, there seems to be someone on this call who was recently at a retreat. So I'm wondering, Chris, if you could share what your experience of that retreat was in upstate New York, so that people know that, hey, they can go to the one in Sedona and have a
blast.
Have a really cool experience. Sedona over Labor Day, second retreat of the year. What'd you think?
I loved it. I had so much fun. I think, so this is the first time I've ever been to a Reiki retreat. And I told Karen, I think that one of the best things that I enjoyed about it was meeting so many people of like-mindedness, we did many activities, with Reiki, and there was many sessions to come and listen about how to incorporate Reiki in every aspect, pretty much, I don't want to say, pretty much every aspect of your life. But the best part was really all the friends I made, and it was just so much fun. It was just so much fun. So
Yeah.
if I know now, I'm like, gosh, could I go to 2 Reiki retreats in 1 year? I know, right?
Chris, what was the most fun?
Really, I think the best part was meeting everybody. I enjoyed the entertainment and the singing, and I'm not usually one that would get up and sing all the time, but I pretty much sang the whole weekend. I got to meet more of the center teachers, and then just people from all over the the United States that came to this event that have Reiki practices in different ways. So that was the most fun for me, was to meet everybody really that I met.
Okay. All right. Well, the venue in Sedona is even better. It's got beautiful grounds. We will be the main group there. The center grounds have a spiritual focus as opposed to a commercial focus. There is labyrinth on the retreat grounds and lots of places to hike. A beautiful pond that looks mystical, magical, and really great healthy food. So that'll be over Labor Day. I'll be talking again on transforming emotions with Reiki. My article will be coming out in the Reiki News magazine early September with the same material, so you can look for that. All right. Well, I am so happy to have you all join me on this call. It makes it a lot more fun, and we've got several people. So thank you if you're returning, and thank you if you're, this is your first time. I often aim for having this about the 3rd week of the month, but I send out a notice about a week in advance. And by email, I have a list for it. So if you're not on the list, you can get on the list. I also send a follow-up recording to those on the list. So, hey, if you ever need a Reiki boost, you can just fast forward through the talk part and go to the part where everybody's sending Reiki. Okay. All right. Well, Reiki hugs to all of you. And I'm sure I'll talk to some of you before next month. But for the rest of you, I'll, talk to you or see you next month. Send in your questions if you have questions that you'd like to see discussed here. Okay. Love and blessings. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.